Exposing Epstein and his affiliates has been important to a majority of Americans ever since his death sent shockwaves back in 2019. But it's been especially important to Maga. So why would the Trump admin put out an FBI report that goes against a narrative that is so fundamental to their base? At time of recording, there are numerous explanations going around, each of varying credibility. Before we get to any of those, let's establish how we got here. Recently, people have been sharing this clip, which is from last year when Trump was campaigning.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
This has led to people thinking that Trump has only recently changed his tune on Epstein, but let's let the rest of the clip play.
All right, I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Yeah, that's a bad look. So, in all reality, Trump has been dodgy about Epstein for a while now, but MAGA really wanted Trump to win the most recent election. So, they ignored that second half of the clip and heard what they wanted to. Plus, Trump threw them a bone whenever he picked Kash Patel and Dan Bongino to head the FBI. If you're not familiar with these two chuckle fucks, to catch you up real quick, they've spent the past couple of years, and maybe even longer, hyping up the Epstein case and hyping up how it needs to be released and how the system is protecting pedophiles. These two were the guys for the Epstein case, especially Dan Bongino. He kept his podcast afloat by ringing Epstein's name for views anytime he could. So even if it seemed Trump wasn't too concerned with releasing the Epstein files, MAGA could rest easy at night, knowing that these two were on the case. This wasn't all they got, though. After the debacle with alleged pedophile Matt Gaetz being appointed Attorney General and then promptly resigning, Pam Bondi was up next. And immediately, she was acting like she had something to prove. She would hype up the Epstein files, and then Fox News would hype her up, and it was a cycle like this, on and on, until one night, this happens on Fox News.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Lucky for Bondi, there's an event at the White House the next day, where a bunch of social media weirdos are going to be coming to the White House to do a bunch of whoever what cares. While the weirdos are out front doing a photo shoot at the White House, Bondi runs up with the binder that claims to be the Epstein Files, Part 1, or Phase 1, whatever the hell that means. And surprise, surprise, all the info in the binders was already publicly available. So Bondi is making a media stunt and a power play out of the rape of children. Very classy move. So her and Trump are out of the question. But what about Patel and Bongino? Will they blow the lid open on this whole thing? Yeah, totally. Yeah, we all knew that was gonna happen. We all knew that was coming. After all this, and a tweet I forgot to mention from earlier in the year, where the Trump admin posted a tweet claiming to be the Epstein files when the link really led to a Rickroll. After seeing all this, anybody with common sense would believe the answer is no. The Epstein files are never coming out. Doesn't matter what Patel and Bongino have been saying. Somewhere along the way, Elon Musk and Trump had a falling out, and when that happened, we all know about this tweet where Musk said that Trump is in the Epstein files, and just 1 month later, on Sunday, July 6th, Axios releases this, a report from the FBI claiming a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure you already know about it if you're watching this video, but for the uninitiated, let me go over it real quick. They made the claim that Epstein had 0 clients. The only proof they gave us was doctored prison cam footage, and said they would not release any further evidence as they do not want to re-traumatize the victims and jeopardize their anonymity. So this is obviously false, but why would they say it? Fuck, there was a bug in my eyelid. Why would they say something that goes against a narrative so fundamental to the MAGA base? Well, this is where we get into the fun part. Speculation. For this next part, I'm going to speak as though the theory on the chapter title is the absolute truth, even if I don't fully agree with it. Let me lay this out plainly. The plan is Trump picks Bongino and Patel because he thinks they have credibility among MAGA, which they do, just not enough to claim Epstein didn't kill himself. I don't think anybody has that much credibility. I can't figure out if Bondi would have been in on the plan or if she would have been an independent actor trying to gain her own credibility. Either way, they rolled with it. Because a plan like this would have to happen gradually, over a long time span. You need to build up the credibility of Patel and Bongino as much as you can. Also, it sounds more believable when you come out one day and say that the Epstein thing is a hoax, or that Epstein only associated with Democrats. Then the Elon tweet happens, and they rush as quickly as possible to clear Trump's name. All of this really reframes the Epstein Rickroll tweet that I mentioned earlier. It suddenly morphs from a tasteless post into what I really see it as. It was a way for the Trump administration to dip their toe in the water and see how their base would react to misinformation or being misled on Epstein. A small theory 1B would be that Patel and Bongino were acting independently and wanted to release the Epstein files and strike all Republican names from the list to make it look like he only associated with Democrats. I see this as a possibility because of the way these two were weirdly talking about Epstein. It seemed like they were trying to distance Republicans from it as much as possible. Why wouldn't they follow through on that, though? Well, that leads us to Theory 2 is much less conspiratorial and much more grounded. But it could still easily build upon Theory 1. It doesn't matter if you think there was some huge conspiracy at play or not, and who was hypothetically involved. The theory goes for this one that when Elon Musk made this tweet, he sent Trump into a frenzy. So any plan or lack of plan they had was canceled immediately and replaced with Trump telling the FBI to release a document expunging his name and maybe, if they can, make the whole thing go away. And like I've said numerous times now, they put way too much stock into Patel and Bongino's credibility among the right, leading them to incorrectly believe that they could say anything they wanted and get away with it. So this one isn't really a theory. It's more so a fact. Whether you subscribe to Theory 1 or 2, or think there's no conspiracy at all and this was just a spur-of-the-moment thing, there's no way that the Trump admin calculated this level of backlash. I mean, to get personal for a second, I know people who have been Trump supporters since the moment he came down those escalators. Those people are coming to me complaining about his lies and his sycophants. They claim they're done supporting Trump, but we'll have to see how long that lasts. There's no way they calculated losing such hardcore supporters. Maybe. Unless... So, this one is by far the most conspiratorial, but also the one I'm most inclined to believe. The theory here is that Trump, or whoever is calling the shots, did this on purpose to purge people from the MAGA base. I know what you're thinking. This is absurd. Oh, wait, I gotta get a drink of water. My lips are really dry, dude. I know what you're thinking. That's absurd, or you're thinking that's counterintuitive to any real political goals. Yes, again, I know. I mean, who would want to lose supporters? Well, to that I have to say, just a few months ago, the idea of America bombing Iran unprovoked was just as absurd as the idea of Trump saying Epstein didn't kill himself. But here we are, in the year of our Lord 2025, and both have happened. But the question still remains, why would they do this knowing it would shrink their base? Well, there could be numerous reasons. Trump or whoever could be so desperate to cover this up that they took the calculated risk to go down with the ship. Maybe that's the case. But I think there's an alternative that's just as plausible, but much more disturbing. What if this is the Trump admin's way of saying, if you can't handle a little pedophilia cover-up and a fake FBI report, then you won't like what's coming next? And I mean, is that really that absurd to speculate on? Child murders are already happening on a daily basis in Palestine. On top of that, the Trump administration keeps ramping up their fascist policies and rhetoric. So, is it really that crazy to assume that there's worse yet to come? This will weed out the MAGA followers with any possibility of disloyalty. The ones that they want to remain after this calculated culling will stick with you through anything.